what was happening, and it was probably one of the most scary experiences I've ever had.
And it's teachers who shut off the lights, lock the door, and watch their students as they crouch.
Are we re-traumatizing young people with drill after drill while systems around them aren't changing? And I wonder, is it worth it?
School shootings is in the title, so.
It's a question that led Dr. Justin Garwood to create a class at the University of Vermont called Preventing and Responding to School Shootings.
This class is not about how kids are getting guns. It's not about how. It's why are kids reaching for guns in the first place. And so it's about really building human connections. And if you can give a student a sense that they belong in the school, that there is a community here, they are not going to do what they do.
Although he focuses more on prevention, all of his students learn how to respond in an active shooter situation.
Run is the first thing. Get out. If you can't get out, that's hide. And then if you can't hide, it's how to fight back.
For now, students are left to wonder when the next school shooting may happen.
We could be the next. Our siblings could be the next. Our future children could be the next. This is affecting every single one of us every single day. And something needs to change.
Brianna Borghi, NBC5 News.
In Heinsberg, police continue to investigate a threat directed at Champlain Valley Union High School. That's Vermont's largest high school last night. Now, police say the threat was made by a Burlington High School student. A CVU father told them the student threatened his daughter and friends, threatening to, quote, shoot up the school. The Burlington student also said that they had a gun and were told officers went to the student's home and were advised by the parents that he does not own a gun. There were more police at the school today. The school says speaking up is the most important step to keeping the school safe.
The most important thing, whether it's students at CVU, whether it's students at other schools across the state, it's just that every student has an adult that they can talk to, has someone in their corner, knows that they're cared about, has a sense of belonging. That to me is the most important thing in all of this.
Now, there is a walkout against gun violence planned for tomorrow. We're also learning more about a threat made to Montpelier High School last week. Montpelier police say an 18-year-old was involved in that threat. Police took a hunting rifle, an AR-type rifle, and ammunition from his home, but police tell us that the firearms were owned legally. No arrests were made, but the investigation is ongoing. Police will be patrolling the school as they work closely with federal, state, and regional law enforcement. We'll be following the latest developments out of Texas overnight, and we'll have updates tomorrow on NBC5 News Today, followed by The Today Show. In the meantime, download the MyNBC5 mobile app and turn on push alerts to get breaking news sent right to your phone. Craig Foster, the Keysville man arrested for killing Chrissy Lubbers, sentenced today to 25 years to life. Clinton County DA Andrew Wiley telling us today Lubbers was killed in July of last year. Foster and another woman, Nicole K.A., were both arrested for that murder. Foster pleaded guilty back in March, and he was sentenced for that murder, plus 11 drug charges. Wiley tells us he'll spend a minimum of 36 years behind bars. New tonight, Brattleboro police say they have a suspect in custody after a shooting today. They say it happened near Elliott and Burge Streets and that there are no injuries. The investigation is ongoing. We'll continue to update you as we learn more about the incident. Also new tonight, Niscoba says 2 officers were seriously injured by an inmate at Clinton Correctional Facility this morning. They say the inmate threw hot oil at one officer's face and attacked a second officer that came to help. The 2 officers were taken to the hospital, and one is being treated for broken ribs. In commitment news, a deadline has come and gone for candidates to get on the August primary ballot in Vermont, and the deadline was at 5 tonight. Some candidates have been preparing months in order to make this deadline, others getting the required signatures in less than a week. Kevin Devaney decided earlier this week that he was going to use decades of private finance experience to run for state treasurer as a Republican. He was at the Walmart in Williston at about 2:30 this afternoon trying to get the final signatures before submitting to get his name onto the ballot.
It's a whirlwind. I love talking to the people. It's been great. People are very honest when they come up to you.
Other big name candidates filing yesterday, including Governor Phil Scott running for re-election, Peter Welch for the open U.S. Senate seat, and U.S. House candidates Lieutenant Governor Molly Gray and state senators Becca Balint and Keisha Ram Hinsdale. Next at 10, baseball is back, how you can help the Lake Monsters. Plus, it's the unofficial start of summer, but there's still one ski resort in winter mode. Tyler?
It'll be a great weekend at Killington, but we've got thunder, downpours, all that to track before we even get there for Friday and Saturday. We'll show you the updated timeline. First, though, a view over Church Street. No, this is not Alice's favorite cheesesteak stand. It's a view of the banner for the marathon. Proud to have 4 live hours of coverage here on Sunday morning. 70 now. We'll have more. We'll be back.
Live, local, late-breaking news with Brian Colleran, Alice Kang, and Chief Meteorologist Tyler Jankowski. This is NBC5 News.
Attention Lake Monster fans, the summer baseball season has begun. The team was on the road today for their first game, but they're back at Centennial Field tomorrow for the home opener. College baseball players from around the country come to play ball in Burlington. NBC5's Carolyn Sistran is live at Centennial Field and has more on the host family program. Carolyn?
Yeah, Alice, the Lake Monsters went into extra innings tied 6-6 this afternoon, but they eventually fell to the Westfield Starfires in a home run derby. But they'll have a chance to catch that first win here tomorrow in front of many of their fans, and for some of them, their new Vermont families. The Pecor family from Essex Junction.
We actually saw the news last year and it kind of got us into it.
Welcoming a Vermont Lake Monster into their home for the second summer.
For us, it never was a question whether or not we were going to host again. It was a question more of how many more days until the Lake Monster season starts.
8-year-old Chelsea looking forward to building another strong friendship and hopefully getting some good tips on her swing.
It was really fun. They would always play with us, and it was a great experience.
Host family coordinator Frida Tutt.
It's a great experience for a family, for their kids.
Bringing on many new families this season, but the recruiting never stops. Frida says they can always use more families throughout the summer.
I really think that we're going to be getting new players coming in. Rosters change all the time. Guys get hurt. Guys have to go back to college. So there's a lot of things that can happen.
Players grateful for the host family experience as they spend most of their time off from school, being away from their families.
It just makes us feel at home, being comfortable and being relaxed on the baseball field is really important to me and to everyone else here.
Head coach Pete Wilk back in Burlington after capturing the league title in 2021.
It makes the whole situation, it makes the whole summer.
Emphasizing the importance of this program for his boys to make sure they're taken care of, that they're safe and ready to play.
The value of the host family situation, to give these guys a home away from the field, and without it, we'd be in deep trouble.
The P-Corps family ready to be the biggest fans in the stands.
To cheer him on and see if he hits any home runs.
For their lake monster, Jackson Klein.
We had that extra bedroom in our house and extra room in our heart, and we just said, let's just try it. And now we want to be host families for many, many years to come.
And there are some extra perks to being a host family. You get free tickets, you get rent compensation, and you get a discount on merchandise. If you're interested in joining the host family program, you are encouraged to reach out to Frida. We'll have all of her contact information on mynbc5.com. In Burlington, Carolyn Sestran, NBC5 News.
Carolyn, thanks. It's a sure sign summer is near. The Plattsburgh City Beach officially opens tomorrow, but there are some changes this year. Beachgoers are not allowed to pay by the hour anymore, and they'll only have the option to pay $12 a day or $60 for a seasonal permit. The Cabana Beach Bar is the only vendor at the beach this summer, and they're excited for this season. While some people will head to the beach this weekend, in southern Vermont, Killington is gearing up for a Memorial Day weekend filled with skiing. But as NBC5's John Hawks reports, they're going to have some summer activities as well.
The Beast of the East is still in winter mode. Having operated for 187 days already this season, they'll be open for 4 days of skiing this weekend.
Spring skiing is the best skiing, right? Like, you're not worried about being cold, the snow is soft, it's fun, it's the atmosphere, the après afterwards, the umbrella bars are such a good time afterwards.
They blew enough snow from October to the end of March in order to make enough snow to last this late into May. Killington will also be opening this weekend their golf and downhill mountain biking on their snowshed trails. It takes a lot of work to get the trails back into shape.
Some stuff takes a beating with all the snowmaking we have over here on Snowshed, and we have to go through with the mini excavators and skid steers and just kind of clean up the landings and berms and put them all back together by hand.
All veterans are able to get a free ticket on Monday for either skiing, golf, or mountain biking to celebrate Memorial Day.
We just do it as like a thank you to all of our military.
Local businesses are excited to see this tradition of the longest season on the East Coast continue into this holiday weekend.
It drives the business. Everything at the ski end is basically for avid, devoted skiers, and it's the opening of the bike terrain park. Consequently, people are, tuning up their bikes. That's always good.
Meanwhile, construction continuing on the new 58,000 square foot multi-million-dollar main base lodge.
It's going to have almost 1,000 seats throughout the 3 floors, which the old K1 Base Lodge maybe had a couple hundred. So it's just going to really level up the experience for our guests in this area of the mountain.
Expected to open in time for the 2022 Killington World Cup Thanksgiving weekend, the new lodge will offer updated amenities, floor-to-ceiling windows to look out onto the mountain, and a whole lot more space.
It's going to be beautiful views. It's going to house guest services, tickets, a rental shop, of course a bar, 45 toilets, which is really exciting if you've ever been to the old K1 Lodge.
In Killington, John Hawks, NBC5 News.
Now, NBC5 First Warning Weather with Chief Meteorologist Tyler Jankowski.
Well,
Did
Tyler,
you hear that? 45 toilets. Wow.
It can be a mess when there aren't enough toilets.
I was just there last weekend, and it's a huge lodge just going up there.
All right,
Beautiful.
what did you learn from skiing last week?
Well, I learned that you can get a big sunburn when you ski this late. But I've always known it's a rite of passage. You got to ski that late if you want to be a New England skier, die hard,
Just
which
wear
you're not
sunscreen.
yet. You got to go.
All right.
Sometime they're open till June, either June 1st or the weekend. So there's still a chance. No. Look at the wind. It is still windy on Church Street. I zoomed in here to this tree because you could really see how it's just dancing in the wind there. It's really only the Champlain Valley that has the strongest of the gusts still, but it's 70 and the dew point is coming up. So that's what the wind is doing. It's bringing in the warmer, sticky air as we go into tomorrow morning. So we've got a big day lined up. The Lake Monsters opening their season at Centennial Field, and we're going to be there. Problem is the weather forecast has a thunder potential. I think it could be before the game, it could be during or just after, but the chance is pretty high that sometime in there's a downpour or some lightning nearby or overhead. So we'll be tracking that as we go through tomorrow. Right now it's still 74 in Messina. Little, well, it's not warmer off to the south and west, but it is more humid off in that direction. And this is certainly a lot closer than it was earlier, because if you've been watching the dew point, it was in the 40s during the 6 o'clock news. Now it's 54. And once it gets to 60, that's when it really feels humid. And I think we'll be in the 60s tomorrow in the dew point category. So a lot of this green that you're seeing here on Storm Tracker is just clutter. It's not actually rain, but the rain is not that far off to the west. There's certainly a downpour there just west of Rochester. And then as you go down into Ohio, quite a slug of rain. So it's getting closer and closer. And by tomorrow morning, if you're in New York, I think that's the best chance for a shower early. Now, 4, 5 o'clock, that is when the potential reaches the Champlain Valley. And I'll stop the clock here at 6:30 because that's first pitch. See how the indication is it's right overhead. So that is what we're watching for tomorrow. And then we're still dealing with showers going into Saturday morning and early afternoon, and then they clear out. So in terms of severe potential tomorrow, there is some. It's very low, 1 out of 5, but we have to watch for certainly the rain and the lightning, but also some strong wind later on tomorrow. It's cool Saturday because we start with the clouds and showers, but we bounce right back into the 80s for Sunday and Monday. So looks good, really good for the second part of the holiday weekend. So even with the shower potential, we're right up near 80 tomorrow. 70s in northern New York because the clouds are there first with the rain, and then 81 in Springfield. So the 5-day forecast shows the rain showers through early afternoon, I think, on Saturday. But by late afternoon, we're clearing out. And then Sunday is perfection for the marathon, 80 with sun, not humid on Sunday. And we're back into the mid-80s for Memorial Day itself. A couple of storms possible on Tuesday with showers by Thursday of next week. Alice?
All right, Tyler, thanks.